Bitcoin has a lot of use cases. I mean, the use case that I talk about a lot is store of value, and I think that's obviously worth quite a lot to the civilization. But there's a third value proposition for Bitcoin, which I'm also very interested in, and it's a system of trust. You have this immutable, unstoppable, immortal, decentralized network, and it's storing data, and it's providing integrity, and it's executing transactions. And of course, the first grand idea was, first people thought, we'll move money without a trusted counterparty. And then they thought, well, I guess we could just keep the money in cyberspace forever without a trusted counterparty.
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoin Zella, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoin Zella offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoin Zella. Subscribe now. In today's video, Michael Saylor shares his new vision for Bitcoin use cases and how Bitcoin will change every business forever. He explains how Bitcoin can be a big solution for avoiding scams by verifying the real identity of every user and more. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
For those of you who, who use Instagram or YouTube or WhatsApp or maybe X, one of the frustrations has been, how can you trust anything that's posted? For a long time, I have a fake Michael Saylor channel that spins up every 15 minutes on YouTube. And the way that you know it's not me is I'm offering to give you 2 ETH for every ETH you send me. And that's definitely not me. But also, I'm offering to give you Bitcoin. I'll give you 2 Bitcoin for every 1 Bitcoin you send me. And it's very frustrating because I know it's not me, and a lot of people know it's not me, but some people seem to think it's me because I get a lot of emails, sometimes saying, I got tricked by that. And the solution oftentimes is a very laborious verification process. Maybe expensive. It costs like $1,000 a month for a gold check from X Twitter. And it's a proprietary gold check because you can't take it to WhatsApp or YouTube, or your Microsoft environment. And of course, Meta's got their own little blue check thing, and then Google's got a different black check thing, and they don't work that well, and they're all very proprietary. And that's one of the challenges of digital identity today. You end up with a centralized identity, and maybe you're logging in with Facebook, or you're logging in with Apple, or you're logging in with Google, and you start thinking, well, what happens if one of those websites or one of those systems gets hacked? Or what if it goes down? Or what if one government somewhere decides to send a court order to one of those? Maybe the Australian government sends a court order to one of these things and they take you off the network. So it's a lot of anxiety. It's very fragile. It's very brittle. It's very expensive, and it just doesn't work that well. And I think that's been a frustration of a lot of people.
United States-based spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETF, have posted record net outflows, with BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust also seeing its first ever outflow day. BlackRock's Bitcoin Fund saw $36.9 million flow out on May 1, according to Farsight Investors. 9 other Bitcoin ETFs saw a combined $526.8 million in outflows, with the Hashdex Bitcoin ETF being the only one with 0 flows, according to preliminary Farsight data. The largest outflow for the day was the Fidelity Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund, which saw $191.1 million in net outflows. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust took the second spot with outflows of $167.4 million. It is the largest single outflow day for the US-based spot Bitcoin ETF since they launched in January. The ARK21 Shares Bitcoin ETF and Franklin Bitcoin ETF also saw $98.1 million and $13.4 million in outflows, respectively. It comes as Bitcoin has fallen 10.7% over the last week. However, ETF store president Nate Geraci pointed out that the iShares Gold ETF and SPDR Gold ETF have had $1 billion and $3 billion in outflows so far this year. Yet, gold is up 16% year-to-date, Geraci noted in a May 2X post.
That caused us to start thinking, wouldn't it be great if instead of a blue check or a green check or a gold check or a black check, what if there was an orange check? What if there was a cyber passport that you got once in your life and it was based on public-private key cryptography that you could take with you? You know, if I paid a nickel for it or a penny for it, and it was anchored into an immutable, unstoppable, incorruptible network, that could be a global standard as opposed to some local nation-state standard. And then maybe I would log into that system using my private key and public key pair. And we saw a little bit of this pop up. One example is in the Nostr environment, when people started using public-private key pairs to log into various Nostr-compatible clients. And of course, we saw another example of this in Bitcoin, where the public-private key pair is how I move money around. And the most famous example or question here has been, well, will Satoshi ever prove they exist by digitally signing a message with their private key? And of course, we know that's possible in the Bitcoin environment, and it's worth, in this particular case, $65 billion to do it. But we haven't really levered this idea of public-private key cryptography anchored into a proof-of-work network for most commercial applications. And MicroStrategy thought maybe we could approach this idea of decentralized identity combined with Bitcoin and then create an enterprise application for it. So that was the genesis of this Orange project.
Two figures, once considered to be titans in the crypto industry, are going to prison in the United States for drastically different amounts of time. Since the sentencing hearings for former FTX CEO Sam SBF Bankman-Fried and former Binance CEO Changpeng CZ Zhao, many in and out of the crypto space have questioned why the two industry leaders have received such different treatment in the U.S. legal system. Bankman-Fried could be in his 50s by the time he leaves prison and will likely have fewer assets than Zhao, who will be out of prison by the end of the year and, according to Forbes, has an estimated net worth of $33 billion. But let's back up a minute. Bankman-Fried was arrested in 2022, extradited to the United States, pleaded not guilty, given house arrest, remanded to jail after allegations of witness intimidation, prosecuted in a 6-week trial, found guilty, and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Zhao was charged in 2023, pleaded guilty, was allowed to remain free on bail, was sentenced to 4 months in prison, and will surrender himself in a matter of days. The former FTX CEO faced 7 felony charges related to defrauding investors and misuse of customer funds. CZ faced 1 charge related to failure to maintain an effective anti-money laundering program at Binance. CZ was charged with a crime that is more akin to a regulatory violation: the failure to have an adequate system of anti-money laundering controls, while SBF was charged with wire fraud in connection with the secret plundering of billions of dollars in crypto, custodied with FTX to prop up Alameda. Mark Binney, a former assistant U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of New York. While both crimes are serious, SBF's crime was far more serious. Despite speculation from many crypto users, it is doubtful that CZ and SBF will share a cell while incarcerated, let alone be housed in the same facility. Though the judge in SBF's case suggested that he would serve in a San Francisco Bay Area prison, he may also allow the former FTX CEO to stay in New York during his appeal. Zhao will serve 4 months at the camp at the Federal Correctional Institution Sheridan in Oregon or the Federal Detention Center SEADAC in Washington, with a reporting date to be determined. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.